like how many clients of you have come in with, I don't know, a gunshot or a stab wound or anything like that. So this is Dr. Luz, our English-speaking doctor here in Medellin, Colombia, and we're gonna ask her some questions about different medical things you need to know about Colombia, Medellin here today. So the first question is: are Colombian hospitals worse than in the US? I know you spent time in Texas to study and work, right? Mm-hmm. In different hospitals.
I worked at the University of Texas Hospital at San Antonio, and also the VA Hospital at San Antonio too. So the main difference between Colombian versus hospitals in the US is that they have a little bit more technology, but not in terms of the quality of the imaging, for example, but just about the quantity of equipment that they have available in different hospitals. For example, here, if we are going to go to have a CT scan or an MRI, usually they are located at level 4 hospitals. In the US, it's easier to get access to different ones, but we have exactly the same things. Then the other thing that I found that it was different, it was the way that they handle antibiotics and some medications. Sometimes they were more based on what the pharmaceutical companies wanted them to prescribe as opposed to what the patient really needs. So that was kind of a shock for me as a doctor because I'm more used to choosing things that are good for the patient, not for the pharmaceutical company. So I found that there were a lot of doctors that were prescribing medications that we use here, for example, for people that are hospitalized for severe situations, and they were prescribing them at a first level, for example, like a common cold or a strep throat. So it was very shocking to me. That's the main reason that I didn't choose to live in the US, but to come back to Medellin. Second is the way that they handle patients. They don't really take the time to explain to the patient what they need and what's going to happen to them, what they have, and like the natural course of any disease. So for me, it's very important to let my patients know exactly what's going on, because that's a huge part of healing, is understanding what you're going through.
Yeah, that's what I found, like working with Luz too. So I had just a cough for a month, and I'm the guy that never kind of asks people, like, I'm just gonna try to tough it out. But then I said after a month, like, I have to contact Luz, and it was so easy. Just I think if I would have done the same thing in my home country, I would have prescribed a lot of medications in the beginning, and she was just like, take a eucalyptus kind of to inhale, and it really helped a lot now, and I didn't have to go to any pharmacy or anything like that. And I think that's kind of a different approach here to the whole medicine, at least with Luz. So another question would be, it's kind of a question, of course, everybody would ask. It's kind of like, how dangerous is Colombia? And now that we have a doctor here, she should know best. Like, how many clients of you have come in with, I don't know, a gunshot or a stab wound or anything like that? Like, there's probably people around there that would think it has to be a lot because it's the dangerous Colombia.
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, since I've been practicing with expats, I've only had one patient that was mugged, but it happened in Cartagena. He came to me for a follow-up on his injuries, but he was the only one to ever have something like that. I've heard stories from patients about getting mugged, but never with violence. It would usually that they take out something without them knowing, but that also happened mostly in Bogota than in Medellin. But for sure, I've heard about patients having problems in Medellin, but never with violence. No.
And the guy in Cartagena, you told me, is just not with arms or anything. It's just like with fist or like.
Yes,
nothing.
It was. I think it was 5 of them. Yeah. So they like jumped and just started hitting him, and then they took everything he had on, even his shoes, and then they left.
Wow. So that's the only thing that ever happened. So just to put that in perspective. Mm-hmm. Then what are the 3 most common treatments you do as a doctor here in Colombia?
Well, most of my patients come for the regular things that we get, for example, a common cold or stomach flu, injuries. Also, STD testing is another thing that a lot of people come for. And just a general checkup, the annual checkup, where they want to have the physical exam plus labs. That's like the most common reasons people come to me.
Mm-hmm. So what would be a normal, let's say, procedure and the cost of a normal physical checkup?
So the physical checkup, first what I do is just I go over the past medical history from the patient, vaccination history, family history. Then if the patient has some signs or symptoms, he will describe them to me, and then I would do a complete physical exam. From that, and plus the age of the patient, I can define what labs that the person needs, or if the person doesn't need any labs at the moment. Also, if the person has some medical history or family history, then I can send some tests that would assess that specific issue. Some people also have already high blood pressure or diabetes, so I send the usual testing that the people that have these kind of conditions needs to have every year. And the cost of the consultation is 100 COP. The fee for the labs, of course, it depends on the labs that you're going to have.
And what would be kind of the average cost of a lab test like that?
For example, a lab that would include a CBC, which is a complete blood count, blood sugar, lipid profile, which is the cholesterol, kidney function, and liver function would be around 250,000 pesos.
Wow, so that's 250,000 for the test, 100,000 for the consultation. Mm-hmm. So in US dollars, that would be around maybe $90 for the whole physical checkup and the blood test. So yeah, kind of crazy prices you can get here. Yeah, so I think that was pretty much it, what we're going to talk about today. Thanks a lot for answering these questions. I hope the video helped so far. And if you want to get in contact with Luz and are an expat here in Medellin, Colombia, all the details how to contact Luz are in the description down below.